listening to Heroes Forge, a Heroes of the Storm podcast.
Hello, and what's up, Forgers? Welcome to Season 2, Episode number 76 of Heroes Forge, a community-driven podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. This is your show host, Jeff Reynolds, and I'm here with the co-host of the show, who is more awesome than a completed Pokedex. It's Kristen Ashton. Gotta catch 'em all, Kristen.
Gotta catch them all indeed. If you're anything like me, Jeff, 100% completion. When you're playing games that you're not streaming, that you kind of gotta get through at a decent pace.
That's right. Gotta catch them all. I mean, how many Pokemon are there now? I mean, when I say a completed Pokedex, I'm thinking like the OG, original, red, blue, yellow Pokemon.
Right when there were, 125, 150?
I believe there were 151 because of Mewtwo.
Oh, snap. I'm assuming, just like many people that I know, you were one of the guys that had all of them memorized.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was definitely the guy that had them all memorized, and I had my little binder of Pokemon cards, which also had, which my mother built for me, a little pocket on the outside of it for my Game Boy, which could go in the outside pocket. I mean, I was like rocking super dweeb status, and I didn't care at all.
Who did though? Pokemon was cool. I mean, that was probably the first thing, and I guess it was early middle school, about 6th grade, that started to get really big, but it was the first thing that began to separate the nerds from everybody else. It was that first thing, because it was just on that cusp of teenagehood, and certain of us went towards the Pokemon, others went more toward, I guess, sports.
Yeah, and now what do they have? Fidget spinners.
Oh, right, those things, so it's something you hold in your finger and you just use your fingers to spin the outside, right? That's all those are. Yeah,
I was at dinner, it was last night actually, and there was this kid that was using a fidget spinner next to me, and I didn't realize at the beginning what it was or what was going on, and then I realized, oh, that's a fidget spinner. And that's really all that you do with it? I mean, you just kind of spin it around, or can you do tricks like a yo-yo? Remember when yo-yos were a big thing too? I mean, walking around with my completed Pokedex and a yo-yo, a bumblebee. Yeah, that's right. I was that cool.
Yeah, right. And then you'd walk the dog, and then you do the triangle, and it flip in the middle. And then there were those little skateboards that you would ride with your 2 fingers, because maybe the skateboards were too dangerous. But skateboards for your fingers? Legit.
That's right, tech decks. That's what that was called. You could get your tech deck. I mean, for those of you that didn't want to scrape your knees or whatever, you could build a little half pipe out of popsicle sticks and then use a tech deck to show them all your cool tricks. We could go on for this with days. I don't even want to bring up Pogs.
Oh, don't. Yeah, that's 10 years. That's of discussion right there. I mean, we're going back retro. But either way, I think the summary is kids never change and are always into crazy fun things to be interested in, because adult life is boring.
Absolutely. And adult life is boring, and you know what's not? Heroes of the Storm. And that's why we talk about it week after week. And that was the most intense segue I've ever done in my life. Let's talk about next week on this show's news. We're going to be recording the show live on Monday night next week. So just one additional day. You'll have to wait for your Heroes Forge fix. It will be Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. That's next Monday, not tomorrow. And we'll put it up on the feed as soon as we get it. And join us live in the chat. If you've never come and you're available on Mondays, we'd love to see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thank you everyone for holding on for an extra day for us. Malthael is coming out on Tuesday.
He's gonna drop and he's gonna mess up some tanks, but maybe not, because he is pretty slow with the attack, and the healing with his mark doesn't do as much as it seemed it would.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how he drops in the live game when everybody jumps in there and is trying to get him into Hero League and all of those sorts of things. I'm concerned because I think in my leagues, at least, we have really driven home the point. Don't attack the tank. Attack the healer or the DPS or whoever you can get down while you're fighting in this fight. Don't attack the tank. And so it's crazy that that's going to change the way that we look at it.
Totally. And I think a lot of his ability to succeed will be pretty team dependent, more so than other heroes, like Genji, for instance, who can get in and get out on his own. I think Malthael may release a bit lower than expected just because you need your team there doing certain things so that you can succeed in getting your job done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a different kind of play style, but really, really fun. Have you been catching any E3 this weekend? I mean, tons of stuff's been announced. Lots of stuff's dropping out there.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go on and kind of, I guess, host is what it's called with Jocelyn and Ryan of the Gamers Inn. At 2 today, we did the Microsoft. And so we got to watch all of that. And Microsoft was very professional. There was not a single cringy moment. There was very, very well done. Basically, an hour and a half of trailers. And I think, I don't know if there's one single thing I'm excited for. We saw the new BioWare IP preview, which looked pretty cool. There's a second Ori and the Blind Forest. They're doing a prequel of Life is Strange. And some crazy other things.
So, Ori and the Blind Forest, that sounds pretty great. That game was a lot of fun and gorgeous, so I'm excited to see that. And then they also announced, didn't they announce a new console, which is basically the Xbox One, but 4K and, like, more intense?
Yes, and it's called the Xbox X, I think so. Either way, you can hashtag XXX, and the joke is spreading like wildfire.
It's perfect. I mean, that's all I really care about that, because I'll be on my PC playing Warcraft and Heroes of the Storm. But, yeah, I think that's funny. Hashtag XXX. Really funny. Speaking of Warcraft, World of Warcraft patch 7.2.5 is about to hit the live servers, which includes the raid, Tomb of Sargeras. Kristen, I was telling you a little bit before the show that I'm back on World of Warcraft. I've been playing it a lot. I dropped it for about 3 months, but now I'm back hooked.
So good. So are you leveled up? Are you geared? Are you just waiting for that to open? And if so where is this Tomb of Sargeras? Was there a tomb on Azeroth?
So, yeah, I am leveled up and geared, like we talked a little bit about. I really hit it hard for about 3 or 4 days and caught back up in that amount of time with all the raids that I missed and all the dungeons. There's a new dungeon and all this stuff and all of the Broken Shore. And I think we talked about it last week a little bit about the Anduin storyline moving into the Broken Shore and all that stuff. So the Tomb of Sargeras is on the Broken Shore. It's that big, tower. That's where the raid is. And so there'll be a lot of familiar faces in there, and I am waiting for it to open up.
Nice. Now, have all of the ships appeared, like with Kil'jaeden summoning them in his cutscene?
Yes, there are a crap ton of Legion ships flying over Azeroth as we speak, and because I'm here doing the show with you, I'm assuming that the Burning Legion is winning right now. So as soon as the show is over, I have to go and kind of help them out.
Oh, that's fantastic. Those were probably the coolest parts of the pre-launch of Legion.
Yeah, the Legion invasions have made their way to the Broken Shore, and there's lots of really cool stuff going on. If you haven't been playing Warcraft, I totally understand, because it kind of got to this stale point. There's a lot to do now, and it's definitely worth even just $15 to go in there and do it one time. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff, including the class-specific mounts, which have their own quest to get them. And I remember at BlizzCon last year when they announced them, it was something I was very excited for, and they don't let down. They are pretty neat. All right, that's all for the news. I think we spoke a little bit about who we might be forging tonight, but before we do that, we gotta say this: let's forge.
Let's forge.
Kristen, we had a dead tie in the Twitter vote last week, and I haven't chosen in a while because you're on a rock and roll winning streak here. So I was like, you know what, I need to bump this up a notch. Let's kick it up a notch, and let's forge Kil'jaeden.
Oh, now this name, I was telling you before the show, before you listeners, I got the text that we were going to forge Kil'jaeden, and I go, sick. that dude from Warcraft 3 who built the sand of Dalaran and destroyed it with his fist. I got this. And I slept on it, and I kind of came up with some really cool ideas for a build, only to read the biography and realize, no, that was Archimonde. This is Kil'jaeden, someone completely different.
Yeah, but it's fair enough. I mean, they are related. I mean, there is like a whole bunch of things that are, their stories basically intertwine with each other. So, I mean, it's a mistake that is definitely able to be made, and probably made often. But Kil'jaeden, I mean, he's going to be at the end of this Tomb of Sargeras raid encounter coming up. He's like the right-hand man to, Sargeras here, coming into this battle, and so basically in control of the Legion and all of Legion's attempts to do everything that they do. So I mean, the big final battle, one would say.
It's going to be incredible because Kil'jaeden has been influencing Azeroth since what? The Great War? When the well was split. I mean, he has been attacking Azeroth for as long as we can remember. And we even saw inklings of him back when we had, the Fury of the Sunwell with Kael'thas and him and Kil'jaeden kind of peeking through the portal. And doesn't he even come up partway through it before adventurers send him back?
Yeah, and one of the coolest images from Sunwell that I remember is the picture of Kael'thas standing on this rock, summoning all his, Malore stuff over here, and then Kil'jaeden has come up from this, massive pile of lava and just standing there. And I remember I think it might have been an announcement image or something about a patch that was coming into it, but I just remember looking at that picture going, that is so bad ass. I mean, it is so cool.
It's amazing when they finally pull in a bad guy that is legend. So legend, you only hear whispers of him and go, oh man, I hope we can meet this guy one day. That would be so freaking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it's a lot to me like Voldemort, right? In Harry Potter, in the respect, I know they're not at all the same, but in the respect of what you just talked about, where the entire series of Harry Potter, they're talking about Voldemort. You might see Voldemort once or twice as you're going through this book series. You hear about what he's doing. People are afraid to speak his name. They're out and there, but you're fighting other things that are related to Voldemort. Kil'jaeden is the same type of villain in this huge long story of the World of Warcraft and Legion. I mean, it's tied to the Lich King. It's tied to everything going on through this, and now we've come to the point. We're at the Deathly Hallows Part 2 right now, where Kil'jaeden is coming out to fight us himself.
That's exactly right. This is the final chapter. If they tie it to Sargeras and find a way to close off the Burning Legion forever. Because if you take down Kil'jaeden, how many hundreds of thousands of years would Sargeras need to keep working to even get back to where the Burning Legion is now in terms of power?
Yeah, and for some people that may not play World of Warcraft, and maybe you're a huge StarCraft fan and Heroes fan, obviously, Kristen, give us a little background on Kil'jaeden and that story.
All right. Eredar Demon Lord and second in rank of the Burning Legion, Kil'jaeden sold out his home to obtain power promised by Sargeras. Forever upset at Velen's escape from this transformation, part of Kil'jaeden's quest has always included hunting down the remaining Draenei to crush them once and for all. Due to this drive, the Demon Lord came into contact with Azeroth and Draenor and began involving himself in ways that would have disastrous effects on both worlds, including the creation of the Lich King. Now, however, it seems Kil'jaeden's time is drawing near as inhabitants of Azeroth plan to bring the fight to the home of the Burning Legion itself.
Oh yeah, what a great story. Love it. And I mean, this is perfectly condensed here, but there are pages and pages and pages of stuff that Kil'jaeden has been involved in. If you check out the WoW wiki pages and just type in Kil'jaeden, you'll have plenty of things to read and to research on this character. Tons of stuff going on here. And one of the things I really want to talk about is the fact that he sold out his home to obtain this promised power by Sargeras. And I think, Kristen, and we were talking a little bit about this before the show, I think that it's starting to get to Kil'jaeden a little bit.
It is. And so we see in the recent cutscene, Kil'jaeden speaking with Sargeras, and there's this kind of tone of what have I done? And we haven't even said what you said we would do, Sargeras, this regret in Kil'jaeden's tone. And it makes me scared because I don't want such a cool bad guy to have any sort of redemption arc. He has gone this long being evil. Keep him evil, Blizzard. Keep Kil'jaeden a killer.
Yeah, absolutely. Hashtag keep Kil'jaeden evil, for sure. And I couldn't agree more. I was thinking the same thing as I was listening to that cutscene going, no, no, no. Please don't let us get him down to 1% health and have him be the only thing that can defeat the Burning Legion on Argus altogether. Please don't let that happen because that would be really lame. I really want to just take him out. I want to feel the satisfaction of taking that out. And I don't want Velen to stop me from getting that satisfaction.
You know, a better ending would be you get him to 1% and he says, no, please, I can help you defeat Sargeras. And Velen walks up and says something along the line, something really awesome, like, no more, and then kills Kil'jaeden himself. I think all the people who deserve to take him down and deal that final blow, it would be Velen.
Absolutely. Well, I'm down. Let's do it. Blizzard, hashtag keep Kil'jaeden evil, for sure. All right. Now, let's start talking about Heroes of the Storm here, because Kil'jaeden is a character that we start to run into the same sort of thoughts and questions that we run into on a lot of characters we talk about on this show. He's a massive toon in the game, like huge character, and he also is a raid boss, which there are a few raid bosses in Heroes of the Storm already, and also he's like the pinnacle of power for the Burning Legion. I'm talking like one of the most powerful characters in the universe of World of Warcraft. So did that at all sway the way that you built him, or were you thinking about building a different type of way because of these factors, or how did you think about it all?
I totally did take that into account, and I will preface my build by saying that he is very overpowered, but that's because this is what I imagine he would be. He would need to be. He is, like you said, the second in command, second only to Sargeras. He is the official big baddie of the WoW universe. So in this whole imagining of what he is in the Nexus, I want him to be overpowered. I want this to be the release Kil'jaeden that's got 100% win rate that Blizzard then has to scale back. I don't want to be responsible for scaling back this guy's power.
I don't blame you, because I thought the same thing, and it goes along with what we talked about earlier about wanting him to be this bad guy to the end, wanting him to be the ultimate power that just feels so good to destroy. And so that's kind of what I was thinking when I was building my kit too. So if this is your first time listening to the show, we're going to build two kits for Kil'jaeden here, and we're just going to talk through it as if he was put into Heroes of the Storm, and we're just going to talk back and forth about it. So we're going to start with Kristen's build this week, and the first thing we talk about is the role classification for Kil'jaeden. And what was your first thought? What are you going with here?
I'm going with a burst assassin, mainly based off of the pictures, because he very much looks like a Fire Lord, even though the build I ended up going with isn't fire-centered like Kael'thas.
Okay, cool. So bursty, and are you thinking ranged assassin or melee assassin?
Ranged, definitely ranged, because though Kil'jaeden, if he were to go into melee, would kill you. No doubts about it. He is that awesome. So in order to make it fair, you'd have to hold him back.
Absolutely. Okay, so ranged burst assassin, jumping in with the likes of Li Ming and Vala in here. Let's talk about traits then. What's your trait choice for this assassin?
Okay, this trait is influenced by the fact that Kil'jaeden has still not yet successfully come into the world of Azeroth to stay, and it's called Too Big for This World. Kil'jaeden still hasn't fully returned to Azeroth, thus he never fully enters the Nexus. Instead, you are put in control of one of his servants. This servant lays a portal on the battlefield that allows Kil'jaeden to pop out to make his appearance. Once halfway out of this portal, you then control Kil'jaeden.
Oh, what a cool idea. Okay, so when you say a servant, we got to talk about this. Is it going to be like one of his Legion buddies that we know by name? Or is this going to be like, an unnamed dreadlord that wanders the battlefield and you're kind of just, able to do basic attacks or whatever it is, and then you decide to summon the portal, kind of like when you use Ragnaros's D and then you're controlling this big Ragnaros?
Yeah, so who it would be, initially I'm thinking like little dude in robes, because that's usually a servant of a greater evil power, but there are, the Dreadlords, for instance, are a lot more tied to Kil'jaeden than some dude in a robe. So the character that is most connected to the image of Kil'jaeden and the servants of him.
Okay, so cool. So is this character, do they have abilities, are you thinking, or are they just purely there to summon Kil'jaeden in this place that you decide to summon him?
Exactly. They're just there to summon him, to lay the portal on the ground, to get their boss halfway out, and that's it. For now.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So are they targetable when Kil'jaeden is halfway out of the ground? So you could try to destroy them, and then kind of like a murky egg, it takes them longer to bring Kil'jaeden back to the battlefield? Or how does the whole death thing work out? Do they share a health pool?
That's a great question. Let's do it like D.Va, since D.Va is very annoying, and I would want Kil'jaeden and his follower to be very, very annoying. So once Kil'jaeden is out, you can't attack the servant. They're kind of, let's assume they're standing there behind the portal, and they've kind of shut down. And so you have to take down Kil'jaeden. Once you take him down, then you could get to the servant. Once Kil'jaeden is down, I do like that idea. Like the murky egg, there's a few second cooldown before he can be summoned again.
Oh, that is too cool of an idea. Oh, I'm jealous that I didn't think of that. Because you're going to make him big then, right? I mean, he's like a big character that comes out. Or, I mean, are we thinking like full-on Ragnaros raid boss size in Heroes of the Storm, or smaller?
A bit smaller than that. Let's imagine the top half is as big as Cho'Gall.
Okay, but still really awesome. I mean, that's such a great idea. Okay, so what about mounting?
Okay, so mounting, I'm still going with portals here. I thought this would be really cool. What if the servant was able to summon a portal that he could disappear into, and then you could like control the little wisp of light where he's traveling through the ether of the Nexus map you're on, and then wherever you decide he dismounts, that's where he comes out of the portal.
Okay, so is he targetable while he's traveling through this like nether working?
No. He is not targetable while he is traveling through this nether working.
Nice. So really, you can get to the best position to put Kil'jaeden on the battlefield that way.
Yeah. And yeah, you could. And then all of the double health pools and everything, this is going to be infuriating.
Oh, it's going to be great. I love it. Okay, so what are some basic abilities once you summon Kil'jaeden out of this portal into the Nexus?
Kil'jaeden is summoned. The first one is called Summon Followers, right? Because if you are a big, bad evil, you need followers to carry out your will. You're too busy sucking out the souls of planets to deal with a Nexus map. Come on. Always one to hire on the most promisingly powerful. Kil'jaeden brings those converts forward, materializing them out of thin air. These converts lock onto the nearest target, prioritizing heroes over minions. Some are melee, some are range, some are basic attack, and some are ability damage.
Oh, so this is a little bit of RNG in here. I mean, I'm assuming they're demons, right? Because Kil'jaeden is basically in control of this massive demon legion army, that's coming into Azeroth in World of Warcraft. So why wouldn't he bring demons into the Nexus too?
It's true. Why wouldn't you? That's a great question. You wouldn't. Demons are your thing. Demons have always been your thing. And the short that they had, the preview for the Kil'jaeden raid, when he summoned those ships out of thin air into the Broken Isles, that was amazing. Why would he not then have that ability to just create armies for himself?
So how do these followers target? Are they targeting the closest thing to them, or are they targeting prioritizing heroes? I'm assuming that because he's an assassin.
Yes, they're prioritizing heroes. So imagine each of these followers has a range, an aura around them. And if only minions are in this aura, they're just going to attack minions. But if a hero steps into that range, they then lock off of the minions and lock onto the hero.
Oh, so cool. And so what's the animation for him summoning these followers? Is it that same type of animation from the cutscene? And does it take time for him to wind this up?
I think he could cast it immediately, but it takes time for the followers to be summoned. So you would see them materialize maybe 2-3 seconds. So you have time to get out so you're not swarmed. But if you don't get out in time, too bad, so sad.
Yeah. I love it. That is so cool. And these demons, I mean, they're just all over the... You're bringing an army with you. And what is the second basic ability that you're bringing along with that?
The second one I'm calling Phenomenal Cosmic Power because, and I believe this was a rogue quest, one of the sets of daggers you go to get is on a Legion ship. And so you see this cutscene where this chick, Akari, is being filled with power that she's never known before. So he has the ability to grant you immense amounts of power. Now, just like with Akari, Kil'jaeden bestows seemingly limitless amounts of power to his ward. During this, you take care of the servant. So now we've switched to the servant who lays the portals. And this servant is an extremely volatile force. Glowing purple, this, you could call him a monster now, does a lot of basic attack damage while emitting an aura of pain. Basically an aura that does damage.
So the servant takes a step from behind the portal when this is used, and you're in control of the servant. Kil'jaeden is still there doing whatever it is he's doing, but you're also controlling this kind of like in a Lost Vikings kind of way where you're able to control both at the same time, or are you fully switched over to the servant during this ability?
I like the idea that you're fully switched over, and so now Kil'jaeden can't be attacked. Instead, you have to go after the servant, but he's dealing ridiculous amounts of damage, so maybe you run away instead, or maybe you get the servant almost dead, but then you turn it off and suddenly the servant is non-targetable and it's just Kil'jaeden.
Oh, even more frustrating. I mean, this is going a really awesome direction where it's just all these abilities are incredibly frustrating to play against, and that's what it feels like to fight a raid boss. I mean, you've got to keep your wits about you, right?
Yep, it's unfair and it's broken, and I loved every single second of building this guy.
Yeah, it's a go for it. What's your third basic after that?
This one is probably one of my favorites. It's called Firestorm, because I wanted to give him a little bit of fire. He's always red in his pictures. Kil'jaeden summons a storm on the battlefield that allows him to quickly lay out where 5 fireballs come crashing to the earth. Once those locations are decided, the heavens let loose.
Oh, so he's got to pick all 5 before these fireballs come crashing in.
Exactly. So you as a player would see the storm overhead, so you know fireballs will be launching soon. You're just not sure exactly when, because Kil'jaeden could wait. He could bide his time, and then once it's perfect, boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so this is like a chromey dragon, but times 5, because you don't know where it's going or when it's going to hit. Well, you know when it's going to hit if you've played against it enough, or played as Chromie. You know the timing of when she throws it up and when it's going to land. But this is 5 of them.
Exactly. So you could lay it out in a line. You could do all 5 on top of one another because maybe your team has a lot of CC. Maybe you do it in a circle so that if somebody's trying to run away, they're going to get hit by one. It's all the possibilities.
Oh, it's so great. I love all 5 in one place. I saw this video on Reddit. It was called something like the worst way to kill someone in Heroes of the Storm. And it was somebody had a Nubarak cocooned a Meriden, and the whole team was standing around them, and they put 2 nukes on top of the cocoon, and as soon as he popped out of the cocoon, these 2 nukes hit down and hit him, and the team was going crazy. They were laughing. It might have been even 3 nukes that came down at the same time. It was great.
I I can't be normal again after envisioning that in my mind. My life, you can't go back after you're imagining that.
No, it's very funny. Okay, the firestorm is so cool. I mean, the fact that you could chase somebody down. This is kind of like a what is it? His third basic ability when he's in his raid boss form and taking over a keep, where you can kind of lay out where these meteors are going to fall, but you pick just the direction they're going to go, not the actual places all five fireballs will hit, which is really cool.
Yeah, and if you really are big on practicing and watching and studying where people move and the more common movement patterns, you're very successful with attacks like this.
Oh, it's a great idea. Okay, heroics. I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait to hear these OP boss heroics. Let's hear it. What's the first one?
Okay, the first one is called Only for Now. Summoning as much power as he can, Kil'jaeden steps from his portal, fully entering the Nexus. Enormous and dangerous, he lets loose damage in amounts never before seen. His ability bar includes causing fire to shoot up from the ground, 10 fireballs instead of 5, and overloading enemy heroes with too much power.
Oh, okay. So tell me, the first thing I thought about this is, is this something that lasts indefinitely? If you take this heroic, you are now in the Nexus as Kil'jaeden?
Level 20, I could argue that, but as a level 10, you're limited still. You know, you're getting your army together. Someone's messed something up, so it's going to delay your plans, but get to 20 and you've got enough.
Okay, so at level 20, can you tell me this? Can he just get too frustrated with his follower companion that's been summoning portals that he steps out of the portal, grabs the follower, and throws him back into the portal before it closes and says something like, "You pathetic being, I can't trust you to do anything, I have to do it myself"?
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Or maybe he grabs the guy, sucks out his life essence, and then chucks the husk into the portal. So many cool things could be done.
So Kil'jaeden is now storming around the battlefield here, and his abilities are, would you say, I mean, he's just beefed up, basically. I mean, he's got a huge, damage aura around him that allows him to do more damage with these abilities, or are the abilities just enhanced in different ways, like the 10 fireballs?
The abilities are enhanced in different ways.
Oh, that is so cool. So 10 fireballs would take a long time to put down on the battlefield, though. I find yourself just like, click, 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 which is kind of a cool idea to think that you have to think that fast of where people are going to be.
That's true, and maybe it's just to create chaos. You know, you need to get those out as much as you can, because your ultimate goal is to get somebody close enough so you can pop them like a balloon.
Oh, and then overload them with too much power. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, basically what Gul'dan did to Varian. So he gives power to his servant. I would imagine he then has the capability to overpower somebody, you know, just feed a human body way too much energy than it was ever designed to take, and it just...
Oh, I can't imagine the animation would be so awesome. Who would you want to see in the Nexus get too much power the most? Like, what hero would you love to see explode the way that Varian did from Gul'dan?
Oh, that is a question. Oh, that is a question. Right now, I wouldn't say Diva, because people would pop the mech and then Diva would jump out and run away. So not Diva. Nova's always fun to watch that happen too, although I don't hate Nova as much as I did. What about you, Jeff?
I was going to say
like to see
Stitches. I was going to say Stitches just because I think the animation would be kind of funny. I don't know. What's your second heroic ability
Clean up
here?
The Nexus after Stitches goes.
You need Janitor Leoric. See, we've come full circle. What's your second heroic ability?
Okay, the second one is called Decimation. And this one, it's a bit iffy, but I think it could be done really well. So in an area around him, he's still halfway out of his portal in this one, Kil'jaeden forces all enemies to kneel before his greatness. Depending on how many are captured within this area, 1/3 will die, rounding down. If there are 3, 1 will die. 6, 2 will die, and so on and so forth. Now, this counts minions, mercenaries, like any evil thing, any enemy target, ultralisks, banshees, all that, everything.
Zergwave.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would, wouldn't it? Could you imagine the potential to hold Embraxis with this?
Oh, so, okay, I gotta talk animation on this one too. What is it like? Like, how does he force them to kneel down?
Oh, this is fun. My favorite, the first time I really understood words of power was Adventure Time, when the Lich showed up and he told Finn to kneel. It was so fantastically done. I finally got words of power. So I'd like him to have words of power and to be that intense. So maybe he would just say kneel. Maybe he would say bow before the Legion. Oh. And it would look like they're fighting to stand up, but they can't, so they fall flat. And then as they die, the ones that die, like purple smoke flies into Kil'jaeden as he sucks their very power from them.
Okay, so is Kil'jaeden forced to be stationary during this attack, and is he able to be attacked or stunned out of it while it's happening?
Yeah, I think he would be able to. Because it's so powerful, you're getting everybody around you. Someone would need to then go in after it's been cast. So you would assume you'd pop it once you get everybody, or everybody who could stop you.
Oh, that is such a cool idea. I just love the fact of, I mean, you are this dictator, basically, of all of this stuff, and forcing people to kneel before you is such a cool image, especially for someone as evil as Kil'jaeden, and done all of these things to basically sacrifice his own world to do the bidding of the Legion in general. I mean, it fits the lore really well and is really awesome and super powerful on Braxis.
Yep, exactly. You'd only take him on Braxis. And this Braxis is probably the only time you'd ever take this heroic. Otherwise, you'd hear that it was bad, and you need to change the heroic, Blizzard. It's too much. It's not cool. It doesn't work on every map.
That's right. We need to have 50-50 on every talent choice, even though there's only 4 talent choices, and it doesn't really ever work out like that. Oh, Kristen, what a great build. Okay, how do you sum up your whole Kil'jaeden build?
I would sum it up with, this isn't even my final form.
Okay, so not even then in this battle is that the final form.
No, because he comes to the Nexus and he automatically kills everybody. That's what I got.
That's too cool. I love it. It's just a really, really awesome build, and I love the whole trait with the follower and the portal. It's a really cool way to bring a raid boss into Heroes of the Storm, which, you know, still keeps true to his whole raid bossiness. You know what I'm saying? It's really great. Okay, well, before we get over to my build, we have some people that we need to thank, as always. The first and foremost is we need to thank our patrons for supporting the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting HeroesForge on patreon.com/HeroesForge. You guys are absolute rock stars and support us week after week. If you'd like to support the show too, you can head on over to that website and check it out, and throw us a buck or two, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much again to all of our patrons. Also, we want to thank everybody out there that has given us a 5-star review on iTunes. The iTunes reviews have been very generous and awesome, so thank you so much to everyone that has done that. And also thank you to everyone that joins us in chat every week. And again, we'll be recording the show next Monday, not tomorrow, but the Monday after tomorrow instead of Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on twitch.tv/Amove TV. Okay, here we go. We're going to get into my build here, which is different than yours, Kristen, and it's been really fun. And I'm going with a multi-class here, Assassin and Tank.
Dude, you like Assassin? That's not good enough. Warrior? That's not good enough. Combine the two, and suddenly we have the perfect OP hero to launch directly into the Nexus.
Absolutely, and that is always the goal, is to make the most OP hero to launch right into the Nexus. And so this is an Assassin tank Kil'jaeden with this trait. It's called the Deceiver. So Kil'jaeden's trait is hidden from all of his enemies, and the trait's called the Deceiver. Kil'jaeden starts with a health pool that is small, and when in this phase, he is an assassin. All of his damage dealing abilities and auto attacks deal extra damage, but he takes increased damage from the enemy. When this health bar is depleted, he doesn't die, but instead becomes a tank that has a full health bar and takes reduced damage from enemies. While in the tank phase, Kil'jaeden takes reduced damage from the enemies, but will also do significantly less damage to the enemies using his auto attacks and abilities. Kil'jaeden cannot choose which phase he is in. He only switches phases between deaths. If he dies in the tank phase, he goes on his own death timer and will return to the Nexus in his assassin phase. Each phase is worth 75% experience to the enemy.
What has Diva wrought? What is this? Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? We know we don't like fighting it, but we can't stop ourselves from pushing it further.
So I'm imagining that this is as deceivery as you can be, because there's no visual indication to show what Kil'jaeden phase he is on. So you're in the battlefield, you may roll up to Kil'jaeden and he may be a tank at that moment, or he may be an assassin at that moment. You could keep track, if you kill Kil'jaeden, okay, he's down and now he's a tank, and you'd have to communicate with your team to make sure that they knew that he was a tank. And back and forth, but it would throw a huge hiccup into the Nexus there.
Oh my goodness. And you would learn so much about your enemies in the opening fight. It's very similar to Sammy. Very, very similar, because his illusions disappear. They take so much damage when you attack them directly, but you attack the real Sammy, not a lot of health is coming off of that health bar. So you have to, if you're an experienced player against Sammy, you know immediately which one is the real one because you pay attention to the health bar chunks. So this is a very, very similar concept, and you're going to know right off the bat who you should target and who you should go after. Now, because this works in a loop, is there a cooldown time between the two so that you could be killed?
No. So the only way that you can be killed and go on a death timer is if you are destroyed in the tank phase. So you start out as an assassin. If you die as that assassin, you just change into, phase 2 Kil'jaeden raid boss, which is actually a tank who does less damage but can take more hits. And if you die as phase 2, the tank Kil'jaeden, then you go on your death timer and you come back as an assassin.
Oh, gotcha. So once you lose the assassin, you've lost the assassin for quite some time, assuming you stay alive.
Exactly. So you got to kind of plan how you're going to fight team fights, how you're going to fight all those things once you're out there fighting. And so for the mounting ability here for Kil'jaeden, I'm saying that he's going to ride a massive fell-broken shrieker, which is like an armored fell bat. This huge, maybe engulfed in Kil'jaeden flames or something fell bat.
Oh, it would have to be. And it would have to have a silly little name like Scratchy or Shrieky, because Kil'jaeden has a heart. He may be the deceiver. He may have sold out his homeworld, but I like to think he at least respects evil animals.
Yeah. He is a member of the Humane Society, and he also donates to public television, because with support like Kil'jaeden's, anything is possible.
There you go. And that would just be amazing, because this thing would probably look, disgustingly grotesque in such a cool way. Huge fangs dripping with fell slime or blood or gore, who knows, and it's got chunks out of its wings. Now, when you see him riding this bat, what's his pose?
Oh, I think he's just straight up he's not riding side saddle, if that's what you're asking. He's full on just riding this thing, and maybe just, he's got this imperial kind of, dictator way that he's sitting on top of this fell bat, just riding straight into battle. And I imagine his model is pretty big, like the size of a cho'gall, but only operated by one person, obviously.
Nice. I like that a lot. And of course, a flying mount. Of course, he would come and swoop in from the sky. He doesn't walk.
No, he doesn't walk. And he has wings. So he also just likes to take advantage of others and ride a fellbat, which he does He does really care about his Felbat. Unlike your build, my Kil'jaeden is actually a melee assassin. So, melee assassin / tank. So this first basic ability is called Fell Gash. And Fell Gash, Kil'jaeden reaches forward with his massive claw and slashes the enemy, dealing tons of damage in the assassin phase. During the tank phase, if he uses this ability, it will do very little damage, but it will mark the target with Fell energy, and they will take increased damage from all attacks. So you're basically a shot caller when you're a tank, and you're a damage dealer when you're an assassin.
That's really cool. I was really interested to see how you would do this back and forth, because you would need to alter the attacks to benefit a tank versus how it would benefit an assassin. And I mean, who doesn't like visuals? Because then you know that's a target that needs to be targeted. But of course, that works best with tanks, because your assassins are focusing on, hopefully, what you're targeting, and they're getting in on that delicious damage. But as an assassin, it's more about who you are targeting, not so much your tanks.
Yeah, and it's also another way that the enemy team could see what phase Kil'jaeden was in. Because if they notice that they're marked, then they know Kil'jaeden is in the tank phase, and they're going to have to play a different way around what's going on. Now, I should have said this at the very beginning, but this Kil'jaeden is kind of a little bit influenced by the new encounter with Kil'jaeden in the Tomb of Sargeras raid. So if this is something that you are looking forward to doing on your own, there's a spoiler alert coming up. There's a couple of things that I looked up that are part of the new Tomb of Sargeras raid. So don't listen to this next couple of things if that is the case. And sorry, Kristen, you have to listen. The second one is called Sargeras' Influence. So this is a basic active buff to Kil'jaeden based on his current phase. In the assassin phase, if this is activated, Kil'jaeden's basic attacks will also deal damage over time, like a poison, like a fell poison. If he's in the tank phase, this is active, when he auto attacks, the enemy will be slowed. So this is pretty basic ability here, and it just changes based on what phase you're in.
That's still a pretty big thing. I mean, poison damage can rip through a team, just destroy it. So I would imagine with this, as an assassin, would he want to be single target, or would he be more about doing wide burst damage to get that poison spread?
I think he's like really single targety. I think that, with the claw, it's not a cleave. It doesn't hit multiple enemies. It just hits one enemy that's in the range of the claw. So I was imagining he would be more single targety, but maybe not. Maybe you are playing him in a style where you're trying to get as much fell over the battlefield as possible. You're taking over the Nexus as well.
Oh, gross. But too, I mean, even poison on a single target, you are chunking their health, and people get scared when you put that poison bar on there. Even if they'll live when the poison ticks off, that is a horrifying moment, because one wrong move and you're suddenly dead without being ready for it. So that's nice. You can't say no to poison, right? And then, of course, the tank with the slow. I love taking slow talents. It adds so much to late game, because I think so many people get surprised with their sudden lack of movement. They judder and they don't expect that, and so that kind of makes them vulnerable for a period of time you can take advantage of and just push on through.
I mean, how many times have you been playing a game, or I know I have, where you're in there and you're saying, no, like you're trying to run out, but you can't move out because you're just so slowed. And then, that's when the rage hits. Let's talk about this third basic ability. It's called Fell Crystal. So Kil'jaeden will create a Fell Crystal on the battlefield that will target an enemy hero in range with a Fell Beam. In the assassin phase, this beam deals consistent damage to the enemy that is in range. If Kil'jaeden is in the tank phase, the beam will target Kil'jaeden himself, granting him a health leech aura that will drain the health of enemies in range and return it to Kil'jaeden as health.
Oh, gross! And the image is amazing. So would it launch from the sky into the ground? Would he summon it and then shove it into the ground next to him? How is this thing coming to be?
Oh, that is such a great question. I didn't think about that. It's coming definitely from Kil'jaeden's ship up above where we can see, right? The ship is flying next to the Hyperion up there. They're kind of hanging out, and then Kil'jaeden calls down a fell crystal, and this thing comes flying in like a meteor, hits the ground. Doesn't do any damage to anybody if they're standing on it, unless you talent into that, of course. But and then it's gonna, based on the phase that Kil'jaeden is in, either hurt the enemy or help Kil'jaeden become as tanky as possible.
Oh, gross. And how big is the aura around this fell crystal?
Well, the aura around the crystal is like the range that you need to be is probably about, let's say the size of a drone, like the reveal drone. You know what I'm talking about? So that big circle is, you've got a lot of area. So Kil'jaeden, when in tank form, would have to be inside of that area in order to get the leech buff. And also, if enemy heroes are being attacked by the crystal when he's in assassin form, they would just have to leave that in order to not be attacked by it anymore.
Oh, gross. And how would it target? Could you retarget the laser based on who's in the area? Or would it just pick the first hero who goes in and that's that?
I think it picks the first hero that goes in, and maybe it would be really cool if you talented into it being able to attack more than one hero when he was in the assassin phase. So like 2 beams could shoot out from the crystal, or a lot of different things like that.
So basically you've given us a Sergeant Hammer.
In a way, yeah. Like you got to get out of the circle.
I love creating a range of no man's land, basically zoning, right? It's so wonderful to have a very clear zone where your team should fight and the enemy team should not fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super fun to play like that. I mean, because then you have to work around it, go around and get Sergeant Hammer from the back or whatever it is. A lot of cool stuff. Now, these heroics, this first heroic is something I really, really want in the game. And I want to get your opinion on if something like this would work. It is something that we see in Warcraft raids and Warcraft encounters constantly. And I don't believe there's anything like this in a way. So this is called Armageddon. And Armageddon is a heroic for Kil'jaeden that he will call down a large meteor to fall on top of a targeted hero. So you're automatically like a Artanis beam. You are choosing a hero, and that hero is the one that's going to get this meteor. They can't outrun it. They can't do anything. It will hit them. Like, this meteor is going to hit them. The meteor falls slowly from the sky and deals massive damage that is split among all heroes that are hit by it. If only one hero, the hero that is targeted, is hit by the meteor, the following happens. If Kil'jaeden is in the assassin phase, he will stand in place and begin to pulse with demonic energy that deals large amounts of damage to enemies in range of him. He is unable to move during this ability. Or if he's in the tank phase, Kil'jaeden is fully healed and is able to re-engage in the fight. Now, the reminder here is that these two things only happen to Kil'jaeden if the meteor only hits one hero when it comes down. So the thought process here is that everybody would want to stack on top of the person that's gonna get hit by this meteor, because not only will he not get this additional heroic buff, but also the damage will be spread throughout the team rather than the entire amount of damage going on to the target.
Oh, that's a cool one. I really think it embodies that whole meteor thing that we want. Gul'dan's Reign of Destruction sadly did not. The visuals were there, but the power behind it, because we've been in Warcraft, we've seen from the ground meteors raining in, and the sheer power, the force, the magnificence of it. Yeah, you're right. It hasn't really been captured too well in the Nexus yet. So if you do a single one like this and it's slow moving, suddenly you have that impending doom that can't be escaped regardless of if your team is there or not. I like that. And it works like Kharazim's 7-sided strike in a sense. The more people you have in that, the less damage a single target takes, which means you could basically negate what happens. so, I mean, how slow are you talking following? Because I don't want it to be so slow that everyone could run in and stop it. I like the idea of being able to isolate somebody pretty regularly.
Yeah, so this comes basically from the encounter that is the new Tomb of Sargeras raid, where these targets are targeted with meteors, and if you don't soak the meteor damage, then he goes into this rage where basically you lose. I mean, he just like explodes and keeps exploding and exploding and exploding until everybody dies. So I was like, well, how can we really bring this to the Nexus here? I want people to have to make the decision to take damage, like the 7-sided strike, like, what's another one? The Hyperion. Like, if everybody goes into the Hyperion, then less people will get hit less often, and everyone will just get hit, more, if that makes sense. So that was the idea here. So not as slow as a pyroblast, not as fast as a rain of destruction. Those kind of things. And then Chad is also bringing up the fact that it would force the enemy team to have to stack on top of each other. Then imagine if you had an ETC that could slide in there and then, mosh pit everybody, and then everybody's there, and then boom.
Yeah, the CC potential. And then, too, what if you save it as a cleanup? What if you use it never even intending to get the bonus effect? You just wait until the enemy team is on the run, and you launch it, and someone's going to die, if not at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. So that's the thought with this Armageddon heroic. Now, my second heroic is called Shadow Reflection. So Kil'jaeden creates a reflection of a target hero. This hero will fight for Kil'jaeden and will be the same level as the friendly team. The type of random hero that is summoned is dictated by Kil'jaeden's phase. If Kil'jaeden is in the assassin phase, a damage dealer will be summoned and will be brought to the battlefield for a short amount of time. If in the tank phase, a support character will be summoned and will only support Kil'jaeden. This shadow reflection will last longer than the assassin reflection. All shadow reflections are targetable by both teams and will be on the battlefield until their health bars are depleted or their timers run out.
Oh, gross. Okay, so target hero, well, not target hero, but a hero in range. Enemy hero, friendly hero, both?
Well, I typed that out and then I changed my mind halfway through. You can hear here. This is basically what's going to happen is that you're going to hit this heroic and Kil'jaeden is going to summon a hero to the battlefield to fight for you. So just imagine like an Abathur clone, but this is going to be an AI Jaina could pop up if you were an assassin. Or if you were in tank form, it would be Lieutenant Morales would pop up for you in this like shadowy fell form and begin supporting the tank version here. So I played with the idea, as you can hear in my description, with copying a hero that was on the battlefield. But then I'm like, no, I want it to be endless here. I want it to be any type of hero that's in the game. And it's just RNG. So if you're a tank, you could summon Tyrande to come in and fight for you, or you could summon, whoever. It's just RNG.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter if that hero is playing this current game. Just any hero that is live in the current Nexus. That is fun. Oh, how gross. And then, of course, it can be targeted by your team. That double healer for the tank is disgustingly cool. Disgustingly cool. Could you imagine being a tank with 2 healers that keep you alive? One solely dedicated to you, the second healer solely dedicated to keeping the other healer alive. Beautiful.
Yeah, because you can, like you said, you could keep that shadow form healer alive, or I should call it a fell form, I guess, like this fell, infused Lieutenant Morales, for example. So you could keep them alive as long as their timer lasted to be out on the battlefield. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's OP, but we talked about it before. I mean, like, Kil'jaeden has got to be a little OP.
He does. He is the second in command after Sargeras. And this one also brings up an interesting idea in that you're getting an extra healer without needing to sacrifice a spot on your own team. So if you draft Kil'jaeden, would you need to go with a single healer, or would you need to chat about that in the draft to kind of decide what this Kil'jaeden is doing so that everyone can be on board and that the team is filled out correctly to support what he plans on doing.
Yeah, and I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had with the Kil'jaeden player before you go in. Like, which one of these forms or phases, I should say, do you feel more comfortable in? Do you feel more comfortable in the assassin phase or the tank phase? Because we should draft around that. If you feel more comfortable as an assassin, then we do need more support to be able to get you into that assassin form. Also, I wonder if there would be the potential for feeding in the respect of you're about to go into a team fight, you wish you were the tank form, so you're just going to run Kil'jaeden into the enemy forts and kill him so that he can become a tank instead of an assassin. I wonder if that's something that would prevent Blizzard from creating a hero that has something like this, or would the detriment of that 75% kill be too much to feed the enemy team?
I think it would drive Blizzard to try something like this out because the balance would be great. Imagine you would probably then need on your team some great lane clear because you'd have to die in order to switch. So you would need to die at very specific and planned out times if that were part of the strategy. That would be a fascinating thing to see in the Nexus and to see what kind of ideas are birthed from this whole thing.
Yeah, I love this kind of stuff where it completely changes the way that you think the game should go and how you should play around it, which is always really cool to think about. And like we talked about before, Malthael is going to bring a little bit of that into the Nexus, where we have to start thinking differently about how assassins work and differently about how we see these characters and who to attack. So that's my thoughts on that. If I had to sum it all up, I would just say he's the baddest of the baddies. I mean, he's out there and he is the baddest of the baddies. So before we can call these builds forged, though, we got to talk about specialty skins and dance moves. And Kristen, let's start with yours. What is your specialty skin for Kil'jaeden?
Genie Jafar.
Wow.
Genie Jafar, right? He's got a black goatee, red skin, rad bracers. It's all there. And then his little summoner buddy would be a parrot. And he would lay down a lamp, and out would come the top half of Kil'jaeden. I want to say Sargeras now.
Yeah, what is it? What does Genie Jafar say? Does he say unlimited power?
It was the universe is mine to command, to control. And then Aladdin goes, "Hey Jafar, are you forgetting something?" "What?" Something about the
You were on a roll.
I could just say this. But basically, it sucks into the lamp, and then Aladdin ends with an itty bitty living space.
Yep, there we go. Wow, that was really great. That just made my night. That was fantastic. My specialty skin before we move on to mine, yours is great. I mean, he's got the same sort of silhouette and the same color and the same everything as Genie Jafar, so well done. My specialty skin is called Used Car Salesman Kil'jaeden, because basically, he's the deceiver.
Oh! So he carries a thing full of lemons with him that he throws at people, he shoves them in their eyes. Take that.
Literal lemons. Yes, he's carrying around lemons instead. The used car salesman Kil'jaeden. But when he's in his normal form, his dance move would be what I'm calling Fell Emo Guitar Kil'jaeden. So he's going to pull out this Fell emo guitar and begin to play an emo tune. Yes, and for our audio-only listeners, Kristen is getting the emo hair and screaming infidelities.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter anyway. I already killed my home planet.
Absolutely. Killed your whole planet. And before we move on, actually, I'll save it for after your dance. What's your dance move?
I would just say he would juggle fireballs. Kil'jaeden summons 3 fireballs and proceeds to show us what he's been practicing all these years.
So he's like, hey, hold on, guys. Let me show you this. Does he drop them and like, oh, wait, no, I got this.
It would be even better if he dropped him. I like that. It makes it look like he's going to be the coolest juggler ever, but then he just drops it.
I wish KT would do that, right? With his like little orby things or whatever those things are, he could just like juggle those instead.
Maybe if they had a clown skin for Kael'thas, which they could do, but I don't think many people would like it.
I would buy it, especially if he juggled fireballs like that. Kil'jaeden. Did I ever tell you the story that I taught myself how to juggle on Google?
No, but that's fantastic.
Yeah, I went to Google one day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to juggle. And you can type it in and it's actually like a Google thing that'll be like, we'll teach you how to juggle. And there are 3 pictures on there and you can learn to juggle off of 3 pictures. Go out there and do that. Change your life. All right, Kristen, after all of this, we can say that this hero has been forged. Oh, wow. It's been a journey to forge Kil'jaeden out there. I'm telling you, it has been a journey. He almost prevented us, Kristen, from completing this forge.
It's true. You have so many times you can whisper his name of power before he just whoops in, cuts your show in half, and demands some sort of tribute.
Yeah, I paid him the tribute, though. We're good to go. So final thoughts on Kil'jaeden and his place in the Nexus. Is it possible?
It is possible. Will he be as big as we all imagine he would be based on lore? Probably not.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. They'd have to bring him in, and like we talked about, if they created a whole new game mode where it was like raid game mode and one person would play Kil'jaeden. Imagine if you could, control Kil'jaeden and on the whole battlefield and everything like that. That's possible, but if they brought Kil'jaeden over, he wouldn't be the baddest of the baddies in the world of 5v5.
No, and that's always the sad part. But if you practice him enough and you practice the game enough, he certainly could be the baddest of the bad. We all know great butchers.
That's true, we do, and oh man, it's really hard to not get frustrated and rage quit after you have a butcher that just won't die and just eats you alive on the battlefield. What do you think about an Argus map?
I think that would be a lot of fun. Have we seen Argus yet, or just a picture of the world?
Just a picture of the world, yeah. And, it's like this planet that's just eaten from the inside and, like, exploded with fell energy and just grossness. And, Kil'jaeden does say that I sacrificed my entire planet and everything I know for this fight. So how cool would it be if there was a map for that?
Yeah, I mean, if you get somebody this big, this was like Ragnaros last year, so maybe they would create a map to release with somebody this big in the lore, this looming when it comes to the history of Warcraft.
Yeah, Kil'jaeden would be so cool to see in the Nexus. Hopefully we will get to see him soon, but Malthael is on the horizon, and that's what we have to look forward to next. All right, Kristen, where can people find you in the interwebs when you're not on this show?
In the interwebs, people can find me at Dream Destroyer, that is DRMDESTRYR, over at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
And you guys are working on The Witcher 3 still, right?
We are, and it's been fantastic. Each game has gotten successively better. I didn't know how they could do it or if they would be able to, but they did. They absolutely did. I'm loving it.
Oh, I gotta get in on that. It sounds like super fun. If you're looking for me, you can find me right here on HeroesForge. We record the show live every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, except next week we'll be recording on Monday like we talked about earlier. You can download the show on any of your favorite podcasting apps, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. You can watch the live feed on twitch.tv/Amove TV because we are part of the Amove TV podcast and entertainment network. For more great esports and video game podcasts, make sure you head over to amove.tv. Follow us on Twitter at Forge Heroes. Over there, you can vote on which one of the 2 builds you think was the better of the 2, and then that person gets to choose who we are forging next. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kristen, but is next week a featured Forger episode?
next week is indeed a featured Forger episode.
Nice. A featured Forger episode is when we take a kit that was sent to us by a community member and we build off of that. So if you've got an idea for a kit you'd like to see in the Nexus, or a character that you really wish was out there, maybe you're just like, I really wish that, I don't know, so-and-so, the second blade of grass from High Mountain was in the game. Send us a kit idea and we will just go from there. You can send it to us at contactheroesforge@gmail.com, or you can head on over to our website, which is heroesforge.club, and there's a contact tab at the top. You can click that and you can submit your idea, or if you just want to say hi, you can do that too. Make sure you visit our Patreon site, patreon.com/heroesforge, for all of the great goals that we have out there for all of our patrons, and also if you'd like to become a patron yourself. Thank you to all of our current patrons again, for everyone that's given us a 5-star review on iTunes, and for everyone that watches the show live and listens at home week after week. All right, Kristen, it's time to call the show, but any final thoughts on Kil'jaeden before we do?
Bringing it back to the beginning, keep Kil'jaeden evil.
That's right, keep Kil'jaeden evil, and everybody out there, stay cool. We'll catch you all in the real world. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. See you later.